Down 3 is a super slippery, high crushing low that forces crouch on the opponent on hit. It leaves Zafina +2 on hit and -15 on block. But if Zafina cancels it into Mantis stance, it becomes a mere -13 on block and +4 on hit, making the Mantis transition almost always preferable. And as if that wasn't enough, Down 3 also has the added benefit of launching on counter hit. So now that we've taken a look at Down 3 itself, let's look at what options Zafina has on follow-up and what you can do to defend against them. I'm Chad III, and after a long hiatus, this is Tekken Scenarios. Option A, Mantis 1-3. So, Mantis 1-3 is a jailing mid-high string that leaves Zafina +9 on hit and 0 on block. It also leaves Zafina in her infamous Scarecrow stance, which I might also do a video on in the future. A key feature of this stance though is that Zafina can't block from it, meaning they need to commit to doing something once they enter it, making it an inherently risky option in its own right. Thankfully though, you can easily evade this option with sideways movement, which brings me onto something particularly tricky about this stance. You see, due to the fact Down 3 forces crouch, you'll only actually be able to sidestep it in one direction, and that direction will depend on whether you're playing on player 1 side or player 2 side. As a result, there are certain options that are straight up easier or even downright only possible to avoid if you're on the player 1 side. In this case, Mantis 1-3 can be dodged with a simple sidestep on the player 1 side, but requires you to commit to a full sidewalk to evade it on the player 2 side. Keep this in mind. The first hit of the string can also be reversaled if you have one. Option B, Mantis 2-1-4. 2-1-4 is a mid string that starts up in 13 frames, making it uninterruptible after Down 3. It's not a natural string though, meaning you can block the following hit even if you're hit by the first one. But it does launch on counter hit, which makes pushing buttons after Down 3 ill-advised to say the least. The string is technically -13 on block, but due to Zafina's evasive hurt box, common 13 frame punishes that start with a high will straight up miss, meaning you might have to settle for a suboptimal punish. Unless you don't. Thankfully, the entire string can be walked and punished if you're on the player 1 side, but can't if you're on the player 2 side. Cheap. The opening hit can be parried and reversal. Option C, Mantis 3-4-4 and Mantis 3-4 Down 4. Mantis 3-4-4 and Mantis 3-4 Down 4 are a low mid and low string respectively. They start up a little slow, coming in at 22 frames. Objection! And the mid-ender leaves Zafina -12 on block and +1 on hit, while the low-ender leaves Zafina -24 on block and +9 on hit. Said though, this is not a natural string, and so the best way to avoid the mix-up is to recognize the first low, block the second, and punish it with an I-13 while standing move, thus beating out the third hit no matter what it is. The string can be cleanly sidewalked if you're on the player 1 side, whereas if you're on the player 2 side, you'll still be clipped by the first hit, but you can punish the second. And while you can low parry the first hit, for some reason, you can't low parry the second. Option D, Mantis 4-3. Mantis 4-3 is a super creepy low mid string that launches on hit and is -30 on block. Now you'd think a move being -30 on block would make it super easy to launch punish. You'd be wrong. To be fair, you can safely launch punish it most of the time, but if Zafina's Down 3 catches you at an angle, perhaps when stepping, then the distance Mantis 4-3 leaves her at can make even some of the beefiest down forward 2s whiff. Thankfully, this string isn't a natural combo, so even if you eat the low, you can block and punish the mid. This is good news, because the low of the string clips you if you try to move in either direction. However, you'll still be able to block and punish the mid if that happens, at least in theory. Option E, Mantis 1+2. Mantis 1+2 is an I-20 power-crushing mid that gains its armor by around the 8th frame mark, making it functionally uninterruptible after Down 3. It's -13 on block and knocks down on hit for guaranteed follow-ups. It can be easily sidestepped and walked in either direction. Option F, Mantis Down Forward 2. Mantis Down Forward 2 is a safe but linear launching mid that leaves Zafina -9 on block. It can be easily stepped and walked in either direction. Not much else to say about it except, don't get hit. Option G, Mantis down forward 3. Mantis down forward 3 is a 15 frame mid that leaves her -17 on block and +19 on hit. This string can be easily sidewalked if you're on the player 1 side, but if you're on the player 2 side, no bueno. Option H, Mantis down forward 4. Mantis down forward 4 is a safe tracking mid designed to keep you honest. It's only -5 on block and leaves her +13 on hit. The move starts up in 17 frames, which technically means it's interruptible with any I-13 while standing punish from crouch. But we've already gone over several reasons why trying that might not be such a good idea. Option I, Mantis down 1-4. Mantis down 1-4 is an I-15 low mid string that knocks down on hit. It's also -16 on block though, and isn't a natural string, meaning you can block and punish the mid even if you eat the low. Much like with Mantis 4-3, walking in either direction will get you clipped by the low, but you'll still be able to block the mid and punish it accordingly. Mantis down 3-1 is a low mid launching string that leaves Zafina -9 on block. It's not a natural combo on normal hit, but it is one on counter hit. The move can be walked on player 1 side, but can't from player 2 side. Option K, Mantis down 4. Mantis down 4 is an I-20 sliding low that leaves Zafina -19 on block and +2 on hit. It also knocks down on counter hit. It can also be sidewalked in either direction, but the sliding away might make it hard to punish. Option I, Mantis up forward 3. Mantis up forward 3 is an I-26 knockdown mid, which leaves Zafina -6 on block and doesn't give anything extra on counter hit. It can be walked in either direction and can be parried or reversal, but is tricky given the move's slow timing. So, as you've probably already surmised, sidewalking is the option that seems to offer the greatest protection from the greatest number of threatening moves in the stance. You'll still need to keep your eye out for the strings that start in a low though, as they might clip you if you attempt to move. The effectiveness of sidewalking is also highly dependent on which side of the screen you happen to be on, as sidewalking Zafina's strings is shown to be considerably easier on the player 1 side than it is on the player 2 side. Perhaps in a high stakes match, it might be worth working to enforce a side switch to help give yourself the biggest chance possible during mix-up situations. Hopefully you found this Tekken Scenarios video helpful, and if you have, then be sure to hit the like button and do all that other YouTube stuff. Also, be sure to join me here live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 PM GMT, where I stream my never-ending climb through the Tekken ranks, and also record some helpful lab sessions and match breakdowns. Anyway, that's all for me now, folks. Now get out there and launch some Zafinas. That's -30. I remember that from the Tekken Scenarios video that I'm making. -30. That's gonna go in the video. That's gonna go in the Tekken Scenarios video for show.